How's it going, everyone? It's Kenneth here, and it's a nice and sunny Sunday morning. And today's video is going to be a bit different. I'm going to give you a bit of an update and then also explain to everyone why I have an allotment. There's a few people that have mentioned in the past when I've said anything about market gardening or selling vegetables that you're not allowed to sell vegetables you grow on an allotment, and I'm fully aware of that. You know, it's not something that I plan on doing. I know that it's kind of frowned upon and not really allowed. So one of the reasons why I've got this allotment with Matt and Katie is, for me, it's a beginning step towards working towards that dream. So on this allotment I've got a lot more space than in my back garden. I try all sorts of varieties of vegetables and seeds to see how well they grow. I can experiment and just sort of see what works best here, and that's all part of the learning process. At the moment I own my own business, and if there's one thing I've learned from running that business over the last 5 years, is that you need to be prepared in any industry that you're going into. And if you're starting your own venture in particular, you have to have as much knowledge and as much preparation under your belt in order to make something succeed. And so that's why I've got this allotment. You know, I'm not doing it to sell vegetables or to make money. I'm using it as a valuable tool to learn about different vegetables and what works, and also what I enjoy growing. You know, some of the stuff that we're growing here isn't necessarily something that would sell in the mainstream market, because people might not have ever heard of them. You know, so like we're growing cucumber melons. Now those, you know, you don't see those in the shops. People don't even know they exist. We're just doing it because they're great to pickle, and it's something that we can grow a lot of and store to use during the year. So having said all that, I've been thinking about the videos I've been making on this channel over the last year, and you know, I've really enjoyed doing them, but I just feel after making that video last week that I haven't really been true to what my end goal is, which is to have a market garden. And part of the reason why I started making these videos in the first place was to document my journey of how I eventually get there, and I haven't really been doing that. So now, if you didn't know that I wanted to become a market gardener, now you do, and you can expect that in the future I'm probably going to start doing things slightly differently and focusing more on my journey to doing that rather than what's just going on the allotment. You know, there's plenty of people out there that make incredibly good videos about how to build raised beds, how to pull up polytunnels, and all the troubleshooting that you might need for growing vegetables, and that's not necessarily what I'm trying to focus on. And I kind of realize that now, so I'm going to start doing things a bit differently and focusing more on that process of how I get there eventually. And the next thing I want to speak about is the possibility of myself, Matt and Katie, as well as one other person, taking on another allotment. This one's great. We've done quite a lot of work on it, as you can see. You know, we've transformed it over the last couple of months, or 8 months, but we want more space, and that allotment that we have is relatively small. So just across from us there's this really big plot just over here. It extends all the way back to there. It's about 3 times the size of the one we have already, but we hope to get it in the next couple of months so we can start getting it ready for next year. So we probably won't grow anything on there this year because there's too much work involved, but hopefully we can have it all ready to go like we did with our smaller one for next year. And so we want more space to grow stuff, but also the more space we have, the more it gives me a chance to also try different techniques and different methods of growing stuff. Like these raised beds we have here are great, but they suit this particular context. You wouldn't necessarily use these sorts of things if you're growing food to make money from, because they're not as practical. You know, you can't fit as much stuff in them, you can't use certain tools when you have raised beds, you know, so it kind of limits what you can do. So that's it today, everyone. Just a quick little update video, and I wanted to explain a bit about that video last week. The entries have closed, but if you wanted to go watch it, I'll leave a link up in the cards there or in the description below to go take a look, just to give you a better idea of you know, what I'm hoping to achieve. So if you like that video, hit that subscribe button, share this video with your friends and family, I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next week. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you later.